Well, here we are. Not necessarily at the end, but this is our last variety expansion for Legends of Runeterra. Which means that we just got a smaller pack of new cards in between the different expansions, with the next expansion being the last one as we know it. After that one comes out, we have no idea what's gonna happen next. But thankfully, for now, it means that we still have some new lore to talk about. And looking at the new champions, which these new cards are supposed to support, be ready for something good. Now, unfortunately, some of you may not know that some of these cards were leaked. And they were leaked in a really unfortunate way. As part of a promotion for Legends of Runeterra, they send out physical packs of cards for people to open. As a side note, Riot, I really wanna tell you, people really wanna buy these physical items. I don't know how many would sell, but this is worth the experiment. Anyway, unfortunately, in these packs, you also had some of the new cards which were not revealed yet. But at least not too long after that, Legends of Runeterra approached some of the creators, and they asked them if they would like to reveal these new cards on their channels. Which is what happened, and a few days after that, we got the official reveal of all the cards. Now, in the official post, Riot mainly talks about the gameplay design of the cards. You know, how they are balanced, why they are balanced, what they can do for certain champions. But that's not what we are here for. We are here for the world of Runeterra. And so, let's dive into the lore of these cards. And as always, just remember that now, everything is canon. Everything is part of the same universe, including the MMO and Arcane. So first of all, we got the Chained Caster. The Mage Seekers excelled at breaking people. They had bound his hands and his magic, they had taken his voice. But he had survived them before, and this time, he had the Veiled Lady on his side. So yes, this is obviously a mage in Demacia, part of Silas's rebellion. I mean, the references to Silas are everywhere here. From the chains mimicking not only Silas but also Morgana, to the handcuffs which directly mimic Silas's petricide shackles. But did you notice that this description was in past tense? It said that the Mage Seekers were good at breaking people. Which means that this is likely happening after the events of the Mage Seekers and after the Mage Seekers were kinda wiped out. Not entirely, but the rebellion was successful. Also yes, as an Easter egg, you might notice another one of Morgana's followers on his left. Specifically, that being the ruby-eyed conjurer. And when it comes to what was said here, the description said that they took his voice. So, did the Mage Seekers cut out his tongue? Surely the mask wouldn't be enough. Now next there is the Kashuri Swipe, a new spell that is a reference to Lord Broadbane, a Noxian lord who previously stole the Kashuri Gauntlet. And of course we know that the members of the Kashuri Armory are after him, including Jin. And we also know that he shouldn't live for that long. Next there is Sneaky Swap. I don't really know what to say about this one. Bandle City is weird, but I like that this is a swap, and you can immediately tell who was swapped here, because the Owlcat is wearing the hat of the Ember Monk. So the Owlcat was likely swapped into battle with whatever that was. And I don't want to know the outcome of that battle. Next, there is Blade-Bound Berserker. You think an arrow or two will stop me? Ha, whatever you throw at me becomes a weapon in my arsenal. Whatever is lost, I will reforge in ice. So, obviously, we are talking about an Iceborn. And even though at first it may seem like she has a true ice gauntlet, I am pretty sure she has a prosthetic replacement for her arm. Since, as was mentioned in the description, her theme is reforging lost things in ice. But also, this means that she is in constant pain. Because remember, true ice is a magical piece of ice that kills you if you are not Iceborn. But if you are Iceborn, it just really hurts. So much so that when, for example, Sejuani whips out her true ice flail, she has to bite on a piece of leather to get through the pain while she's fighting. So since here true ice is literally part of her body, it has to really hurt. Also, look at the size of the blade. It really reminds me of Kargath Bladefist from the Warcraft universe. Also yes, you might have noticed she has a lot of arrows in her body, which again, a reference to her description, but it is also a reference to the thousand-pierced bear, also known as Volibear. Next, there is Chrom Dancer. She moves in a dance of water and blades, pulling steel from the roil of foam and spray. She need not see to feel the flow of her weapons. They are water animate, and to water, they must always return. So yes, this person is blind and they are part of the 7th layer, also known as Neela's gang. And apparently, this character was teased in concept art before. So it's not like Riot is coming up with entirely new characters out of nowhere. Also, this one is funny because it is a Bilgewater card, because well, it is supporting Neela, who is also a Bilgewater card at the end of the day. But as you can see in the background, she's in Piltover. Like, that is very clearly what you can see there. And yes, this one is also tied to the flowing Chakram skill, which shows us the weapon, and it looks awesome. Next, there is Talon Strike, which is literally just the claws of a Silverwing Raptor. Not much to say here. After which we got the prototype Porobot. It's just a prototype, the apprentice cried as flames engulfed the lab. I didn't program it to eat every gear in sight. I don't even know where all of the metal is going. So yes, as we stare at this mechanical Poro eating a mechanical Poro snack, just remember that everything is canon, and it should be part of Arcane 2, just maybe a little bit more in the future. After which, we got the Braning Sea Spirits. During the right times of year, when the wind blows in over the sea, some Zonites swear they can hear the faint impressions of two huge finned creatures dancing joyously with the ocean tides. That's right, even though this is an Ionian card, it is in Piltover too. Unfortunately, besides that, there is not much to mention here. It is still totally possible for some of the Ionian beasts to swim all the way here. Just be careful with Neela's goons being around too. Things can go crazy. But this takes us to the coolest part of these reveals. That being dragons. We got two new ones, with the first one being the Horned Swarmcaller. Despite its intimidating size, the Swarmcaller is rarely violent. When its swarm nears Shuriman's settlement, villagers will leave offerings of soft fruit in the nearby desert to distract their visitors from more important crops. This one is really cool because this is an insect dragon. I really love the design of the wings. And yes, as we learned here, there is an entire swarm that is following this dragon. And in order to not destroy all the crops, all the people just try to lure it away. And looking at the design, it really makes me wonder. When it comes to the void creatures, which adapt their appearance based on what they consume, are the corrupted insecty voidborn really just insects, or are they the dragons? Because to me, this one does resemble a Swarmcaller. And if that's the case, it immediately gave the old cards some new lore too. With that said, we still know that there are just big bugs around the desert, though we haven't seen too much of them. We just know that based on Rames's lore, Rames likes to snack on them. But this takes us to the last card. A big dragon called Artin the Disgraced. Kamavor's dragons were once magnificent and respected, but even they were not safe from the all-consuming corruption of the ruination. Artin is no exception. His long-lost regality now twisted into a Narsh appearance of the Deathless. So yes, this too was, once upon a time, a royal dragon of Kamavor. And in fact, when it comes to Legends of Runeterra, this should be the first proper one that was revealed to us. Because yes, in League, of course, there is Smolder and all the promo he got, but also the last dragon that could be linked to Kamavor comes from Viego's cards, and we still don't really know which one that is. That one does look a bit more aquatic in nature. But this does seem to be the first proper representation of a Kamavoran dragon. Although, if you really look at it, it is not in its best shape, is it? Also, the existence of this card might be the outcome of two different scenarios. After Viego decided to go to the Blessed Isles, where he would slaughter everyone and make the entire thing explode, of course the dragons realized that Viego was going a bit crazy and they didn't really want to support him. That's why they didn't fly over the seas with him. All of this was revealed in Smolder's story. But since we do have some dragons aligned with Viego, there is the possibility that some of the dragons still decided to support Viego, even though the majority of the royal dragons thought that Viego was insane. However, that may not necessarily be exactly what happened. It is possible that Artin did not want to support Viego and he did not go to the Blessed Isles with him, but instead, after Viego caused ruination, it is possible he just went back and corrupted some of the dragons. I mean, in theory, if we look at what happens canonically, Viego did even corrupt someone like Shyvana. Anyway, the main takeaway is, this used to be a royal dragon of Kamavor, and it's pretty dope. But that is it for the newly revealed cards. Now it is true that some of the cards didn't really tell us much, but at least some other ones gave us some cool new lore. But yes, we should remember that this was the last variety card pack, after which we will get one more big expansion, so be ready for more lore to come. But after that, we still have no idea what's gonna happen. We still should be getting new cards, we just don't know what form they are gonna be in. Is it gonna be just a few cards every few weeks, or is it gonna be still big expansions just aimed at Path of Champions? Well, all of that is still in the future, and we should just know that, yes, the lore of these cards goes beyond just this game. Some of which is right behind the corner too. Take the Owlcat, for example. We better see it in Bandletale.